Hello, and welcome to this bonus news clip from the Jewish Channel. Billionaire philanthropist Michael Steinhardt gave a searing impromptu speech that was highly critical of others in Jewish leadership, which you can see in this week's TJC News broadcast on cable. Here's the full 3 minutes and 45 seconds of that speech as a web bonus feature.
Once upon a time when I ran a business, there was a great difference between having dialogue and being right. And in the Jewish world, there's a great deal of dialogue. And there is a great deal of focus, as Barry just spoke of, about dialogue and doing the best and that sort of thing. And frankly, I find that wearying. I think Hillels do the best. A lot of people purport to be doing their best, and it's just not so good. It's just not so good. And it's accepted as being good. And it's accepted within the Jewish world, and there's very little internal dissension within the Jewish world. Birthright, when it started 10 or 11 or 12 years ago, was overwhelmingly disliked. Overwhelmingly disliked by the midstream, by the institutional Jewish world. And the fact is that most things that are worthy, most things that are going to change the world are at their inset disliked. And that's something that you have to recognize, Barry, and that's something very different than the sorts, keep your hands down for the moment, that you have to accept as very different than the normal dialogue that we have, than the dialogue that goes into, what's the name of the thing you do, the conversation. Those things are conversations. Thank you very much. But they don't change the Jewish world. They don't change the Jewish world. They don't change the appalling level of education in the non-Orthodox Jewish world. So the question is, what's going to change that? Has to be something very, very different. And I didn't hear anything very, very different today. There have been oodles and oodles of serious PhD social scientists in the Jewish world for an awful long time. And the impact of their work, as far as I know, forever, has been garnished. Garnished. This study is an important study, and I think it says some very significant things. But do you recall any Jewish study meaningfully changing the Jewish world over the last 20 or 30 years? I don't. But this might. This might. You know, you did a study, Len, changing the approach to census. Pick up any changes? Is the world interested? Maybe they will be. But it takes something very, very special to create change. Birthright, and how we did it, for some reason, created change. And that's what we have to do. And change requires pain, it requires difference, it requires dispute, it requires argument. And unless we're going to do some of that, we're going to be nice and polite and get nowhere. Thank you.
For more on the event and for the full weekly news broadcast from the Jewish Channel, which airs every Friday, you can stop by the Jewish Channel on cable. The Jewish Channel is available on cable: IO Optimum Cable Channel 291, Time Warner Cable Channel 528, RCN Channel 268, Verizon Fios Channel 900, and Cox Cable Channel 1. For more information, visit tjctv.com.